everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to, and if you like this, read this video. Today we're going to be doing something more along the lines of like, if you like this theme, idea, or trope, because I don't really know if all of these are specifically tropes, then read these books. So, we're just gonna dive in. I have 5 main categories: themes, ideas, tropes, whatever you want to call them. So let's just dive into it. The first one is one that is very broad and I cannot really narrow it down to a nice catchy phrase, which is why it's going first. And that is characters that aren't really out to be good, and also the use of magic with machines. And I have 2 options for that, and that is specifically Iron Widow by Shran J. Zhao and Gearbreakers by Zoe Hanamakuta. Both of these are excellent YA sci-fi fantasies. I think that they bridge the genre pretty well, mainly because they are in worlds that have reached the point of, like, in my head, it's basically all like the Capital in the Hunger Games, where it's like reached a point of direness in society, and we've reached a point where we just kind of have, you know, these incredible inventions that run on magic, pretty much. Another one I can think of is Sky Hunter by Marie Lu. But these 2 are the main ones because they both deal with these women who aren't out to be good. They just want what they want for their own goals. And if that's to tear down the world that they know, fine. They'll do it any way that they want. I will say Iron Widow does it a little better than Gearbreakers because I really liked Iron Widow and I'm not a big fan of Gearbreakers. It was fine, and it was fine when I read it, but definitely check these 2 out if you are at all interested. And we love feral women in this household, so these 2. The next category is basically books that bend genre and add mystery to them. So we're going to talk about 2 again, and that is mainly these 2 books here. We got Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir and A Master of Jinn by P. Djeli Clark. Gideon the Ninth is a on the surface sci-fi with lesbian necromancers in space, but what it really is a murder mystery in space mixed with fantasy elements and sci-fi elements, and it is just so out of the ordinary that I think it really works for this prompt because it bends genre. It adds the mystery flavor into it because it's basically like and then there were none situation where these people are just dying and they don't know who's doing it, and yet it's so batshit crazy that it works so well. And in the same vein of the murder mystery kind of a thing, we have A Master of Jinn, which is P. Djeli Clark's 3rd installation in this world, but his first full-length novel, and it follows our agent Fatima, who is the youngest woman working for the Ministry of Alchemy, Enchantments, and the Supernatural Entities. And so it is a magical Cairo. It is like steampunk-esque. So again, we have the steampunk, which brings in a little bit of sci-fi. We have the magic, which brings in, and like magical creatures like Jinn in this situation. And then it brings in a setting of like 1920s Cairo with a detective essentially figuring out this murder mystery. So again, I love it when there's genre bending, and these 2 books just really do that in such an exceptional way that I highly recommend these. Next up, we have another category that has like a caveat on the outside of it. If you really want to read an epic that is epic in the real sense, like think back to the Odyssey, which spans many, 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 many years. You want an epic fantasy that is very quite modern in the way that it follows women exclusively. You would want to read one of these 2 books. And so we have a historical fantasy, which is She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, which follows the chronicles of our main character, Monk Zhu, as she goes through her life, and all the years kind of circle and spin. Another good recommendation that would go with this for like brutal fantasy that follows this kind of vibe is The Poppy War, but I also wanted to talk about Scorpica by G.R. McAllister because I friggin' love this book. And this is the true definition of an epic fantasy that follows women because it is a queendom, it is a matriarchy, it is a society where women are everything and men are just kind of there to help and do what women want them to do. And it is just absolutely fabulously well done. And this follows a issue that has plagued the queendom and plagued the realm. And we start right when it starts. So we get a little bit of the before. So there's still girls being born. And then we see what happens as no more girls are being born in this world that's run by women. So it's like a 10-year drought of the girls and all the stuff that happens within that. So both of these are epics in the sense that they span many years, and they are just epic because they're great. And that's why I wanted to talk about them. And on the same vein of that, the caveat for that one, if you want an epic fantasy, but you want it to be more modern, i.e. not like set in a medieval fantasy world or historical like She Who Became the Sun. You want it to follow more family dynamics as well. Go with Jade City by Fonda Lee. So this would be the epic but not the women-led, because most of the characters in here are men, and it follows the family, the Call family, and the 3 main siblings, and then like everybody else. So this is epic in the sense that it does span a few years. This one not as much as Jade War and then Jade Legacy, but in total, the trilogy just span years, in which it does fall under the definition of epic, being that it spans over years. And this is just epic as well. So this is fantastic. But yes, this follows the Call family on the edge of war over Jade. The next theme, trope, whatever you want to call it, is the team that has been put together that is the last team that the world wants kind of trope, which is one of my favorite tropes that I've found over the past couple of years. And I have a YA fantasy and a sci-fi, an adult sci-fi. So we're talking about this adult sci-fi first, and that is The Last Watch by J.S. Dowes. This is set on a ship that has been placed at the edge of the universe with people on it that are the dregs of humanity, the people that other people don't want to remember, that they want to get rid of. They just kind of throw them on the ship, throw them on, in duty out here, essentially to watch the edge of the universe and make sure that what is called the divide is staying where it is. And this follows a team of people on this ship that kind of just get pushed together under these circumstances because they are the only team that are there to notice this is happening, and that just in general can do anything about it because they are the only people available. They are the last people that humanity wants, but they are what humanity needs to save the universe, kind of a thing. It's very fun. There's also some interesting stuff with time in here, which I really liked. And then, of course, I had to mention Realmbreaker because that is essentially what this is based on. It is essentially what would happen if the Fellowship of the Ring failed and you have to get another team together, so they weren't the first team that was wanted. I love this trope so much. Love it so much. This is the epic fantasy. This is the epic YA fantasy that I want at all times. It is expertly done. And I love that trope so much. And of course, we got the trope of like the band of people coming together, like the squire, an immortal, an assassin, a sorceress, the pirate's daughter, and they're the heroes that nobody wanted, right? So just absolutely love it. And both of these, exceptional choices. Exceptional choices. And then finally, we're going to end off this video with the shortest prompt, and that is just found family. And I got 2 for you today. So I have a historical YA book, which is probably the only one in this entire stack that is not fantasy. And that is One for All by Lily Lineoff. This is a Three Musketeers gender-bent retelling where our main character has pots, and it is a revenge story. But the found family in this, exceptional. I would die for all of these characters. Like, it is just beautiful. The 4 girls in this are just, I would do anything for them. They're so good. And I am gutted that is a standalone. Like, I really want this to be a series because it could be like really fun series where it's just these girls who are gone to this like finishing school, which is just a fencing school to teach them to be the musketeers. And it could just be them like solving crime. I really want it to be a series. It hurts me that it's not yet. I don't think yet. Right now it's a standalone, but like it could be a series. But anyways, this one for sure. And then if you want like found family with the aspect of like space heists, Seven Devils by Elizabeth May and Laura Lamb is where it's at. This book is fabulous. We have an incredible cast of characters. Not everybody likes everybody, but it is the relationships that is made in these dire circumstances when it's like they are the only ones that you have and you are stuck together until this job is done. And it's the relationships that are forged in that stress level, you know? Space Heist, also just so good. I love this so much. Really, just every single book on this list is just fantastic. And you should definitely read them. If you are at all intrigued by any of the prompts that I talked about today, definitely do. Also, if you have any recommendations for these prompts, leave them down below because I want more of them. These are some of my favorite tropes and my favorite, you know, things to read. So please let me know. You got any more of your found family? Also, I should mention, both of these found family aspects, LGBTQIA+, everywhere in them. And I just, we love some queer found family. We love it so much. Wanted to add that in there because it's a very important aspect and we love to see it. So anyways, my friends, that's it from me for you today. So I will catch you in another video very soon. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any videos that I put up on my channel. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.